Tonight, a concerning spike in a severe form of strep.
I don't know how to tell other people how fast it was. Not 6 hours later, she was gone.
The symptoms are hard to spot. The consequences can be devastating, and cases are way up across the country. Inflation is up again, food prices too.
This bag alone was $60, and it's hardly anything in there, and it'll last us 2 days.
So why is Loblaws rolling back discounts? We break down Israel's greatest intelligence failure.
We assume the Hamas will not do something radical. Big mistake.
And the female intelligence officers who say their warnings were ignored.
This is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrienne Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. Health authorities are sounding the alarm tonight. Across Canada, cases of invasive Streptococcus A soared to record highs last year. The bacteria, extremely dangerous, even deadly. Strep A often causes milder infections, but if it gets deep into blood or tissue, it can become fatal in a matter of hours. And for one Ontario mother who rushed her daughter to emergency, the infection moved too fast. Lauren Pelly has her story and explains why the symptoms can be hard to spot.
We'd always read a book before bed.
Christina Heckes says her daughter Quinn started feeling sick last March, just a few weeks shy of her 6th birthday.
We did the things every parent does, the Tylenol, the Advil.
By phone, a doctor told Heckes it was likely just a lingering cold. Suddenly, her daughter took a turn.
Her breathing is labored. Nothing's happened with her fever. It's been 3 days. I said, okay, that's it. No more. We're going to the hospital.
X-rays showed Quinn had pneumonia, and later tests showed her organs were failing. She died within hours.
I don't know how to tell other people how fast it was. My daughter was sitting, watching a movie, having a conversation with her nurses, and not 6 hours later, she was gone.
The cause, a common bacterial infection. Group A Streptococcus is usually linked to milder illness like strep throat. But in some cases, bacteria invade the bloodstream, rapidly causing sepsis, even death. New national data provided to CBC News shows infections have spiked, with 4,600 reports of invasive Strep A by the end of 2023, the highest annual total recorded in Canada.
So we've been seeing an increased level of invasive group A streptococcal disease.
Ontario officials say in that province, 48 people have died this season, including 6 children.
It's really difficult, of course, for the families and those caring for them. It's something we're tracking closely.
2 people have died so far this year in New Brunswick. And in December, BC officials warned there were twice as many cases of invasive strep among people under 20 than the province expected. Warning signs include a fever, dizziness, confusion, or intense pain. Those symptoms require fast medical attention and antibiotics. But
even though that's the right drug for the right bug, there isn't a 100% success rate.
So Lauren, given we're talking about something that can be deadly even with treatment, how concerned should people be?
Well, there's no cause for panic. Most of these cases are mild, but when strep goes downhill, it happens fast. So for parents watching, go with your gut. If you think you or your child is seriously ill, even though ERs are busy, you want to get to a hospital.
And how do you protect yourself from it?
Well, you can't get a vaccine for strep. It's a bacterial infection, and there's really no way to prevent it with a vaccine. So what we do know is that serious strep can piggyback on other illnesses. So if you have a viral infection like COVID or the flu, it can actually make it worse if you get strep on top of that. So the only option is getting a vaccine to protect you against those viruses. It's one of the only tools we have.
All right, Lauren Pelly, thank you.
Thank you.
A Calgary community is in shock tonight after a murder committed right in front of an elementary school. Police say it was a case of domestic violence and that the victim had reached out for help. Aaron Collins takes us through what we know.
It's a chilling image on a cold winter morning. A woman killed in front of this elementary school before classes started, her empty vehicle hauled away. Police say the man they believe killed her was found dead a short drive away. Investigators say that man and the victim were in a domestic relationship, and they say the suspect had been previously charged and released on bail under a no-contact order.
Well, I mean, it's terrible, really, right? I mean, here we have a situation where people had done everything right. They've engaged the police. We've engaged them with services, support, court support, safety planning, and the whole 9 yards. And to have something like this happen in a school, in front of a school, obviously, is horrible.
It's a tragedy that didn't need to happen, according to some experts.
It's devastating news to hear of another case of intimate partner violence that ended up not just in injury, but in death. I consider this, and many people do, preventable.
Police say no children witnessed the killing. School officials say all students and staff are safe. Still, a killing so close to these classrooms is unsettling for parents of kids attending a nearby preschool.
I don't know, it's usually a quiet neighborhood, and just with everything that's been happening in Calgary, like crime rates going up and stuff, and I don't know.
Despite assurances that the attack was targeted, neighbors in the area have been left shaken.
It's going to affect some people. It's going to affect the kids.
It's very rattling. It's scary, I think, for families, and there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood.
It's a quiet neighborhood, kid-friendly families here, so it's just unfortunate.
Classes were canceled at the school today, but administrators say it'll likely be open again tomorrow. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
After sinking lower and lower through the fall, Canada's inflation rate is back up once again. According to data released today, it hit 3.4% in December. That is up from November's rate of 3.1%. The Bank of Canada has been trying to push that number down by raising interest rates. But as Nisha Patel explains, it can only control so much.
The basics cost Canadians even more in December. Rent and the interest on mortgages. Groceries and gas prices all up compared to a year ago. It helped inflation heat back up to 3.4%.
This will certainly, give the Bank of Canada pause, as it indicates we're not out of the woods yet on inflation.
Some prices are falling as consumers rein in their spending. Travel services cost less, and so do home entertainment systems.
We have seen very clear slowing in the economy. For instance, if you look at GDP, it basically hasn't grown in the last 9 months.
The Bank of Canada wants to see inflation cool before it cuts the interest rates that have Canadians paying more to borrow money. Experts forecast that could come later this year, but the situation is still fragile.
Because things are so volatile, you can't really make very many forecasts.
Conflict in the Red Sea could throw the inflation fight off track. Houthi rebels are attacking cargo ships, disrupting a key shipping route.
A lot of predictability is very, very important in the shipping industry, so it's causing some operational concerns that way.
Shipping costs have spiked since the attack started. Experts say companies could start to feel the strain.
We have those delays in transit times. If that continues, the impact continues to magnify throughout the supply chain.
And while the system isn't as stressed as it was during the pandemic, prolonged tensions could fan the flames of inflation once more.
To me, the single biggest risk is if we had a backup in energy prices.
For now, inflation is still above the Bank of Canada's 2% target. Most analysts predict there won't be any interest rate cuts until June. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
As Canadians deal with higher prices, there's some frustrating news from a grocery giant. Loblaws is rolling back discounts on some perishable products close to expiring. Jamie Strachan explains why.
Don't get Canadians started after an increasingly pricey trip to the grocery store.
This bag alone was $60, and it's hardly anything in there, and it'll last us 2 days.
It's crazy.
What's your grocery bill been like lately?
Oh, about $200 a week. And that's just basics.
To save what they can, some rely on food discounted because it's about to expire. But even that's about to get more expensive. Loblaws cutting its discount from 50 to 30% at all its stores, including No Frills and Superstore.
I think they should keep it at 50% because what's the point? 50% at least is getting sold.
Loblaws says the shift is consistent with other grocers like Sobeys and Metro. and says additional discounts will still be available on the Flash Food app, which offers discounts on soon-to-be expired food.
You see on the app what they have, and then you just buy the ones that look like a good deal. And sometimes they're not always a good deal. Like sometimes they're rotten by the time you get to them.
Experts say it's important for people to be able to see potential savings in person.
I've actually looked at many of these products, and some of them are not very appealing, so you just walk away. But sometimes the deal is actually quite substantial, especially when you're planning to cook that evening.
Canadian grocery giants have been under increased scrutiny. Loblaws chair Galen Weston says the chain has already reduced prices on key staple items.
Grocery stores are not charitable organizations.
Even so, measures like reducing the cost of soon-to-spoil food was seen as a gesture to those struggling.
The 5 grocery giants were just have been in the news so much lately, talking about ways to kind of make food more accessible and lower prices, and all of a sudden this comes out.
Levko says families whose food budgets are already stretched will suffer the most. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
Rachel Notley announced she is stepping down as the leader of the Alberta NDP in a press conference that at times got very emotional.
I was raised by both my father and my mother to believe that public service is it's something that you should strive for throughout your life.
She became an MLA in 2008, and following in the footsteps of her father, Grant Notley, she became the leader of the NDP in 2014. But in 2015, she did what for many at the time was unthinkable.
Well, take a look at this.
She ended 44 years of unbroken PC rule.
The change has finally come to Alberta.
And now we have a competitive two-party system, due in large part to Rachel Notley.
But her political future has been in question since the NDP lost a second election last spring. Rachel Notley says she will stay on in her role until the NDP chooses a new leader. More than 13,000 Saskatchewan teachers walked off the job today and say they are prepared to do it again.
We just don't have the political will in this province to bargain on class size and complexity.
The one-day province-wide strike was an effort to bring the province back to the bargaining table. The education minister maintains class sizes should be determined at the board level. South of the border, candidates for the Republican nomination are shifting their focus to New Hampshire. But after Donald Trump's resounding win last night in Iowa, his challengers have a fight on their hands. As Katie Simpson found in Des Moines, Trump supporters are organized and motivated.
God bless the USA.
Firmly in control, soaring to historic levels of popularity, Donald Trump set a Republican record for the largest margin of victory in Iowa ever.
And you see the big signs come up. Trump wins Iowa, and it was just so exciting. Exactly what we wanted to see, what we wanted to have happen. And
Deisha Nielsen celebrated with fellow members of Trump's vast volunteer army, an organized network of supporters dedicated to getting Trump's base out to vote.
They are constantly contacting you, constantly getting you to the headquarters. It's a definite ground game. Grassroots, people everywhere.
We're very proud of you. Trump's challengers are urgently trying to make up ground.
I love the fact that y'all came out, even in the snow. We've got a big decision on Tuesday, and I'll tell you, all eyes are going to be on New Hampshire.
Third place Nikki Haley needs polls in New Hampshire to hold. She's doing well in the state, which is up next in voting. While runner-up Ron DeSantis skipped ahead to South Carolina, looking to voters there for his breakthrough moment.
As your president, I promise you, I will get the job done, I will make no excuses, and I will not let you down.
Instead of the typical victory lap, Trump spent his morning in a civil court. It's the start of his damages trial determining whether he'll have to pay E. Jean Carroll. Trump defamed her, mocking her claims that he sexually assaulted her. The court appearance strategy is energizing his base, his supporters convinced he's being targeted unfairly.
They're just working overtime, to get him from being able to represent the people and the voice of America. And they're not attacking him, they are attacking us. So it makes me mad.
So Katie, very clearly Trump's base is dedicated, motivated. So what does that mean for the rest of the contest?
Well, dedication, motivation, and now we just wait to see if this base is going to expand. Given what happened here in Iowa, we've learned that Trump supporters are unmoved by his legal problems and his lies about election fraud, for that matter. If the Trump team can keep their volunteer base organized and disciplined, it is going to be a very big uphill challenge for his Republican opponents. Adrienne.
All right, Katie Simpson in Iowa. Tensions remain high in the Red Sea as more missiles flew today. Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen struck another cargo ship, leaving minor damage. The United States launched strikes of its own, targeting what it says were anti-ship missiles from a Houthi-controlled part of Yemen. This comes as the White House is reportedly set to relist the Houthis as a terrorist organization. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky took his pleas for support to a fresh audience today. Powerful global financial leaders in Davos. Ukraine has been on the defensive in its war with Russia. Briar Stewart now with his pitch to allies.
President Zelensky, how did the meeting go, sir?
Very good.
Ukraine's president pleading for more support at a time when commitments by some are wavering.
So much.
Volodymyr Zelensky mingled with the business and political elite in Davos, Switzerland at the World Economic Forum. In his speech, he urged countries to pass more punishing sanctions.
Putin loves money above all. The more billions he and his oligarchs, friends, and accomplices lose, the more likely he will regret starting this war.
Nearly 2 years into Russia's full-scale invasion, there are no signs that Vladimir Putin is prepared to pull back. It's quite obvious, he said. Not only did Ukraine's counteroffensive fail, but the initiative is completely in the hands of the Russian armed forces. In the eastern Ukrainian city of Donetsk, which Russia and local separatists seized back in 2014, a small but apparently enthusiastic group lined up to pledge their support for Putin, who will run and almost certainly win the presidential election again. We are doing this absolutely voluntarily, said one man. We are here to sign our support. And there was another show of cooperation in Moscow from a country that Russia increasingly relies on. North Korea's foreign minister visited the Kremlin. The U.S. and Ukraine have accused Pyongyang of supplying Russia with weapons, including ballistic missiles, which hit Kharkiv earlier this month. Ukraine says it's running short on ammunition and missile defense systems.
We're working to secure bipartisan support for the necessary resources to supply Ukraine with the weapons it needs.
But for now, that $60 billion aid package remains stalled in Congress. As for the European Union, it says Ukraine will receive the $50 billion it promised, even if Hungary keeps blocking the move. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
A northern Quebec family is speaking out after a days-long wait in a Montreal hospital.
He was left in the ER lobby until he was discharged 4 days later.
Why that experience is causing calls for better care in remote communities. Plus, a Canadian chef turned actor.
Plus the permits, the inspections, and the licenses. Right, okay.
Lights up the Emmys. His fitting tribute after his rise to fame. And a very much unwanted guest.
Of all the houses, why did it select my home?
Met with an unexpected solution.
That immediately did the trick.
We're back at 2. Much of British Columbia is bracing for a major snowstorm. Environment Canada is forecasting the province will get up to 20 centimeters of snow between tonight and tomorrow morning. This after a week of record-setting low temperatures.
At these temperatures, we know that the risk of harm is very high.
And in the midst of a cold snap hitting Ontario, advocates in Toronto are calling for warming centres to stay open all winter. All 4 of the city's warming centres reported being at or over capacity last weekend. An additional center opened today. It's expected to feel like minus 25 degrees overnight. A Cree family is speaking out about overcrowding in Montreal's emergency rooms after an elder was rushed from northern Quebec only to spend 4 days in a hospital lobby. As Alison Northcott explains, so far from home, he had no other option.
You need anything? Need help?
Matthew Mukash was stuck in a Montreal ER for days after traveling to the hospital by plane and car from the Cree community of Wapmagstui in northern Quebec. His son filmed this video. For me, at my old age, I haven't been treated properly, says Mukash, former Grand Chief of the Cree Nation. I've been here 3 days in this entrance. His granddaughter says there was no room for him anywhere else.
He was left in the ER lobby, and he wasn't moved after that until he was discharged 4 days later.
With many Quebec ERs over capacity, that wait represents an extra hurdle for thousands of patients in Cree and Inuit communities in the north.
You're being evacuated in a situation of emergency by air ambulance to come to a health center that presumably can provide better treatment than what you would be able to get within your own region, to find that you're going to be waiting for hours and even days.
He says it highlights the need for better healthcare services in remote regions. The Cree Health Board says plans to build a new hospital are moving forward, but still years away.
It's going to be one of the biggest hospitals in the north that will become, I guess, the centerpiece of our nation and our organization.
Quebec's Indigenous Affairs Minister says he's concerned about what the former Grand Chief experienced and that health facilities need to provide culturally safe care for Indigenous patients.
For my grandfather especially, for him to be in the ER lobby, there was nowhere that we could go where we could say, let's just go home, and it's not a simple taxi ride home, it's a flight home. You need to drink?
She says better training to ensure healthcare workers understand that could help make a difficult experience a little easier. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
A Canadian chef stole the show at the Emmys while shouting out to his past.
Every single day we got to show up and cook and make people feel good.
How his restaurant staff is responding and how the bear compares to the real thing. Plus, they were tasked with keeping watch at the Israel-Gaza border.
She told us that she's so worried and so afraid.
But they say they were not taken seriously.
We paid an unbelievable price.
The accusations and calls for accountability. The National breaks down the story shaping our world. Next. The TV show The Bear cleaned up at last night's Emmys. It is a funny, dramatic, sometimes stressful look at life working in a restaurant, something its Canadian co-producer and Toronto restaurateur knows a lot about. Magda Gebrselassie shows us how the show is resonating.
Table 23, order!
Complicated family dynamics, industry pressure, and of course, the food. The show The Bear is all about the intense highs and lows that come with running a restaurant, and it won big at the Emmys. Its Canadian producer decided to share the spotlight. Celebrity chef turned actor Matty Matheson's speech stole the show.
I just want to thank restaurants as a whole, hospitality as a whole.
When the long kiss from his co-star was over, he kept serving up the sweet and sour sides of the restaurant biz.
The good, the bad, it's rough. We're all broken inside, and every single day we got to show up and cook and make people feel good.
Feeling good about the shout-out is the staff at his Toronto burger joint.
To have someone coming from where I am to be at where he is and talk about what we do and be proud, it's amazing.
We don't have any more. Find them, God damn it, Tina!
The Bear revolves around a renowned chef who takes over his late brother's restaurant in Chicago. Scenes inside the kitchen are chaotic and apparently very accurate.
There's definitely a few of those moments in there where I've had to turn it off previously and come back to it maybe a day or two later because I'm like, it's too real right now.
The show highlights the harsh realities with the industry.
Right now, the average restaurateur is really struggling with the same rising costs that consumers are facing.
This food industry analyst is hopeful that Matheson's speech and the success of The Bear could have a positive effect.
The attention is certainly good, and if that can encourage more people to go out to restaurants, especially during this quieter time.
But the Emmys speech is showcasing so much more, thinks this film critic and foodie.
Not just we're eating for fuel, but we're eating for pleasure. We're eating because it actually creates memories and it creates stories.
More stories fans of The Bear are hoping for in season 3. Magda Gebre-Selassie, CBC News, Toronto.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the news shaping our world. Inside Israel's intelligence failure and Hamas's October 7th attack.
I was very shocked by the response of our army.
The women who warned were ignored and then killed.
They must to pay the price. I paid the price.
The calls for accountability of Israel's leadership. This is the breakdown. Even months later, the details of that day require a warning. Terrence McKenna hears from some who raised the alarm, survived, and are speaking out.
Inside the astonishing intelligence failure that allowed the Hamas October 7 attack. The young female soldiers who had been warning for weeks that an invasion was coming.
We said we are the ones who saw this, and now we are the ones who are being murdered.
The confessions of the Hamas attackers who slaughtered civilians, including children.
We heard the sounds of young children in the safe room. We shot at the safe room. They died.
How could one of the most secure fences in the world be so easily penetrated?
We relied on the god of technology. I was very shocked by the response of our army.
Grief-stricken relatives demand that Israeli military leaders be held to account.
They must to pay. They must to pay the price.
Inside the Hamas attack. For years, Hamas has bragged about their drone program, largely funded by Iran. In videos, the Hamas drones were used to attack the mock-up models of Israeli military outposts that had been constructed just a few kilometers from the border with Israel. Hamas would also mount elaborate rehearsals of attacks on Israeli military outposts, demonstrating how they could kill and kidnap Israeli soldiers and civilians. Hamas released these rehearsal videos in September, 1 month before their attack. These elaborate Hamas rehearsals were watched by cameras mounted in Israeli observation balloons that would float high above the border, as well as by cameras mounted on the Gaza fence. And the activities were documented at the nearby Israeli military base at Nahal Oz, just 700 meters from the border fence. Here in what is called the command room, teams of young Israeli female soldiers called spotters would stare at screens for long shifts and note any unusual Hamas activity in Gaza. It is a non-combat unit. The young women don't carry guns. This base would become one of the first targets for Hamas on October 7th. The women here have long felt unsafe and complained that their warnings about Hamas activities to upper levels of Israeli military and intelligence ranks were being ignored or discounted. Yael Rotenberg was one of the spotters who spoke to Israeli public television.
אם חודש לפני זה היה כזה, אוקיי, יש אימונים, ואז פתאום יש אימונים כל יום, ואז פתאום יש אימונים פעמיים ביום, ואז כאילו כל הזמן יש אימון. כאילו זה עולה לאט לאט וזה מתחיל להיות קצת קריפי, כי גם בסופו של דבר הם נמצאים קילומטר מאיתנו, ואנחנו אומרות כזה, בוא'נה, מתישהו זה יהיה עלינו.
Spotter Maya Desiadnik said their concerns were dismissed by senior officers.
ומרגיעים אותנו, אומרים שהכל בסדר, שזה לא משהו כזה רציני. שמעבירים את על המדים, הכל בסדר, זה לא משהו כזה. זה לא משהו זה לא איום. אל תדאגי, זה לא איום.
יש קצת אווירה של כאילו, אוקיי, כאילו מין אדישות כזאת של זה לא משהו.
Israeli author Yossi Klein Halevi once served as a soldier in Gaza.
We learned many painful lessons on October 7th. One of them
was that male chauvinism is still alive and well throughout the army.
We paid an unbelievable price for ignoring these these few warnings, I would say, and sticking to the concept that almost all of us believed in.
Mickey Rosen-Aronson served as a national security official in the Israeli government.
Every time there was this game of rockets, they shoot a little, we answer. When there's too much shooting and we go for a military operation in Gaza, it takes a few days, maybe weeks. There's quiet for a while, and then we repeat the same routine. And we ended up on October 7th.
The night before the October 7th attack, the young women spotters of Nahal Oz held a party to celebrate the coming religious holiday. There was food and decorations and a lively esprit de corps. One of the performers that night was Roni Eshel. Roni confided in her parents that she was very anxious about the military threat from Hamas and felt unsafe in Nahal Oz. Her father Ayel had served in the army and reassured her just 3 days before the attack.
She told us that she's so worried and so afraid. I told her, Roni, go back to the army. We have the best army. We have a strong army. Nothing gonna happen.
It turns out that Israeli intelligence had previous knowledge of the exact Hamas attack plan carried out on October 7th. 1 year earlier, they had obtained a 40-page booklet codenamed Jericho Wall. The booklet described how the attack would begin with an unprecedented wave of rocket attacks that would force Israeli defenders to move into their bunkers. Then paragliders and drones would be used to disable Israeli security cameras and automated machine guns mounted in towers on the border wall. And that is exactly what happened. The document opened with a quote from the Quran, "Surprise them through the gate. If you do, you will certainly prevail." Hamas repeated that verse in its videos and statements on October 7th and after. First, they would blast holes in the wall, and then they would pour through. Why didn't Israel act on this key intelligence?
Arrogance, complacency, minimizing the abilities of Hamas to carry out its plans. There developed a deep strategic worldview that began with Prime Minister Netanyahu and filtered down through the army that really saw Hamas as being more interested in governance than in threatening its regime by attacking Israel.
We assumed Hamas will not do something radical because it has to be responsible for the Gaza population. Big mistake.
On October 7th, Hamas attackers filmed their attack on the nearby Nahal Oz military base, home to the spotters in the Israeli Military Observation Unit. The attackers used drones to drop bombs into the parking lot at the base. Then they moved in to slaughter the occupants. They tossed grenades into a defense bunker near the gate. One of the first to die was guard Eden Nimri, a champion swimmer who grabbed a gun and tried to defend her co-workers.
הבנו שזו סכנה ממשית עכשיו, אנחנו רואות אנשים רצים לגדר עם נשקים. אנחנו רואות אופנועים וטנדרים, פשוט ככה נוסעים לגדר. רואות איך הם מפוצצים את הגדר, קוראים אותה.
אני מזנקת כזה במיטה, לאן רץ? למיגונית. אני רואה שם את כל הבנות כבר יושבות, כאילו צמוד לקיר, בלחץ. אנחנו עם פיג'מות, יש טילים שמפציצים אותנו, ואנחנו לבד. ואז אנחנו מתחילות לשמוע כוחות, כאילו, את הקולות הערבים. מנסים לפתוח לנו את החדר. הדלת הייתה נעולה. כן, אחת מהבנות מנהלת אותה. אז הם כולם יוצאים באללה אכבר, כזה באטרף. ועכשיו אני יודעת להגיד שזה היה ללכת לשרוף את החמ"ל.
Maya Desiadnuk was in the command room.
התחיל להיכנס עשן, ואני נופלת, ואני קמה, כי אני אומרת לעצמי, אני לא מתה כאן היום. ואז מישהי צועקת, תברחו דרך החלון בשירותים.
The attackers methodically worked their way past the light defenses at the base and killed 15 young Israeli soldiers who were on shift that day in the command room. They were mostly unarmed.
היה ברור שיקרה משהו. היה ברור שיקרה משהו.
אנחנו גם ראינו. ואנחנו גם אלה שנרצחנו.
7 young military spotters were kidnapped that day. One of them was Nama Levy, who appeared in this video as she was taken back to Gaza. Another kidnapped spotter, Noah Marciano, was taken to the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza,
השם שלי, נועה מרציאנו.
where she was forced to record a hostage video asking for an end to the bombing, and then she was killed. When we come back, after the Hamas attackers overran the military bases, they moved on to the civilian areas.
We are looking at Israel's intelligence failure before Hamas's October 7th attack. Now Terence McKenna shows us how Hamas brought death and terror to hundreds of civilians. And a warning, there are many images we've chosen not to show you, but some you will see are disturbing.
Some of the October 7th attacks were recorded by CCTV security cameras. At Kibbutz Be'eri, assailants wait for a resident's car to approach the gate, then kill the driver and passenger. Many Israelis are astounded by how long it took for the army to come and rescue the communities under attack, often many hours.
I was very shocked by the response of our army, how long it took.
Many Hamas October 7th attackers videotaped their assault on civilians with head-mounted video cameras. They raced from house to house searching for people to kill. One attacker's phone call back to his parents in Gaza demonstrated a virulent anti-Semitism.
شوف كيف قتلت بيدي يابا ابنك قتل يهود هاي دخلوا فلسطين يابا الله اكبر ربنا يحميك يا رب ربنا يحميك يابا ربنا يحميك يابا بكلمك من جوال يهوديه قتلتها وقتلت جوزها عطوا بيدي يابا قتلت عطوا.
The phone call was indicative of a deep mindset here, which is we are doing something noble. We're terrorizing the Jews. We're inflicting almost any kind of atrocity that you could do to the human body.
The Hamas attackers shot people randomly through their windows and doors. They entered the home of the Eliakim family in the Nahal Oz kibbutz and live-streamed their activities. The father, Noam, had been shot in the foot. After searching the house, the attackers demanded that 17-year-old Tomer accompany them to convince the neighbors to come out of hiding.
Your neighbor. Take me. No.
Noam pleaded with them to take him and not the boy, but they insisted.
Come with me.
As they toured around with Tomer, they proclaimed in English that they would not shoot anyone who came out of hiding.
Told him go out. Anybody here? Go out, I will not shoot.
Eventually, they entered the home of the Adrienne family and live-streamed their attack on Facebook. Young Tomer had to plead with family members to come out of their safe room.
Open the door!
But the attackers just shot through the door. They killed daughter Mayan, who had turned 18 just 3 days earlier. The family, gathered on the kitchen floor, was inconsolable at the loss of Mayan.
I will not shoot him.
The attackers eventually murdered Tomer and his mother Dikla and her partner Noam. The younger daughters Daphna and Ella were kidnapped and transported to Gaza. A recurring question is why Hamas would record and broadcast their attacks against civilians.
The message to the Arab world was, we're going to win. And we are the force that's going to destroy what they call the Zionist entity, the State of Israel.
Some Hamas attackers were captured by Israeli soldiers hours after the attack began and were later interrogated by Israeli intelligence officers.
شو اسمك الرباعي أول شيء؟
جهاد فوزي محمد
يحيى ماجد صبري
مهند ياسر زيد.
Israel says it released excerpts to make the world aware.
شو عمل القسام يهبري؟
قتل.
مين قتل؟
مدنيين.
One attacker described how he executed small children.
طخنا على المرجع.
شو الصوت سمعته؟
صوتنا تمتمت صغار واللي مش عارف شو دخلش البيت احنا طخت انا وطخ احمد. ذا.
محل ما؟
بعد ما بطلنا نسمع صوت.
يعني بطلتوا تسمعوا صوت معناته ايش هو صار؟
ماتوا.
Spotter Roni Eshel died at her post in the command room on October 7th. Her father was allowed to visit the burned-out site, and he placed a candle at her workstation. He says that all the senior officers responsible for the October 7th intelligence failure must be fired.
Hold the people that responsibility for the October 7th. I don't care.
You want them to pay a price?
They must to pay. They must to pay the price. I paid the price. I paid the punishment for our family. Now it's their turn.
Anybody that was in charge on October 7th should assume responsibility for what happened and draw the relevant conclusions. Anybody, not just Netanyahu.
After Israel's last major intelligence failure before the 1973 Yom Kippur War, there was a commission of inquiry that resulted in the firing of many senior officers in the Army and Intelligence Corps. Prime Minister Golda Meir also resigned. Now Benjamin Netanyahu is promising a similar inquiry into what went wrong on October 7th, but he says the formal investigation will begin only after the war in Gaza is concluded.
Now, there's some news on the kind of investigation Terence McKenna just referred to. The IDF has said that both internal and external probes will proceed and that results will be made public. Coming up, how about a change of pace when an unexpected visitor gets a little too comfortable at an LA property?
I thought, why me? I thought, of all the houses, why did it select my home?
What it took to coax it out in our moment. Okay, so you might not be able to tell just by looking, but this black bear is really out of its element after wandering into a Los Angeles neighborhood and seeking shelter in a crawl space. But the homeowner was not interested in a new tenant, and tonight the scramble to set the bear free is our moment.
Out, out, and out. I was asleep. It was 4:30 in the morning. My Ring camera went off. I looked at my phone and saw the bear in the driveway. And when I got up in the morning, I checked the crawl space and I just dreaded that the bear was underneath my house. I thought, why me? I thought, of all the houses, why did it select my home? I tried not to panic. I wasn't sure how to get it out. Bad bear. I tried hitting pots and pans, and I had a leaf blower that I aimed towards it. It didn't seem disturbed by me at all. What are you doing? But it kept an eye on me. Get out. The police came, and an animal control officer advised me to use mothballs to try and get rid of it because they don't like the smell. That immediately did the trick. It fled out. I was so glad because I just knew I couldn't spend the night with the bear under there. I heard they snore really loud, and I could hear it moving. So you can see I have a statue of a bear in the front porch. We love our bears. It's just I don't want them to live under my house.
She was worried about it snoring. She also said that animal control folks told her, maybe you can leave a rag filled with ammonia or play your radio really loudly just to disturb the bear. The preferred option really is to just get a cab and go. Thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app. Subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.